Evening, guys, and welcome back to the classroom with Architect Mark. Tonight, we're going to be talking about what happens after we've developed it and done the post-developed things that I told you about yesterday. So, we're gonna focus right now on the export dialog and all the options that we have over there, and should be a significant discussion. So let's head on over. It's quite basic, but there's some items there that might be really important to remember and take note of. So let's head on over to the classroom and check it out. All right. So, let's choose the photo that we edited last time. Let's choose this one. Yeah. So choosing this one because I like the crop better. So for example, I wanted to output this and the other one that we chose to edit. No, it's this one. So we can control click them together so that we will be able to control both of them at the same time. So we're gonna hit export. So it's here. File export will show us the export dialog, and it's just short here, but there are some things to take note of. There is this left pane here. Some presets, burn full-size JPEGs, that means it's gonna go into a disk. Export to DNG, that means it's going to be prepared for Photoshop. For email and for email hard drive, these are basically presets that control the size and quality automatically for you. Now, you don't really need to choose one of those. You can just edit this. And so let's uncollapse all of them. So it's easier to get grips of what we have right here. So we have export location, the naming convention for each of the files, because we can control that as well. Some video controls, if there are some videos in your film strip that you have selected, settings for the file, size of the image, output sharpening, metadata, watermarking, and post-processing. So let's go to them one by one. So export location talks about where the file would reside after it has been output. Okay, so you have a drop down here, export to a specific folder, your desktop, my documents. Basically, these are places in your Explorer, and can alternatively set it to this specific folder, and you choose one, which is where the finished product would go. So you can also put it in a subfolder of your main folder. And then if you check this, add to this catalog, the output is put here. But normally I keep it unchecked because these are already exported. So putting them into the catalog back is effectively doubling the image instance inside of Lightroom. And then for existing files, for example, you already exported it before, and then you're now going to export it again. it will be detected as an existing file, and then it will do whatever you choose here. So right now is ask what to do, and then you can save any of these as a default type. If you want to, if you know that you don't really have any changes there, you can opt to skip, but yeah, just keep it to ask what to do to be safe. Now, file naming convention. Basically, you can rename the outputs into a specific format, like it can be numbered, dated, and then you can set a number. So like this is a custom name sequence. So this bottom here changes depending on your selection. Normally this works for this particular use. So you enter text, that will be the first part of the new name for the exported item. And then start number, you can begin this at 0, or like this, begin it at 1. The issue that you will be facing if you have like a thousand images and you're an explorer and you check out your folder 1, 10, 100, and 1000, as well as all of the items after 10 will be grouped together, and you don't really like that. Here you can, as far as I know, you can't identify a 3-number start, so it will be 001 or something. So you can choose to do that or just rename it afterwards. It's okay also. So videos, since we do not have videos, we don't need to bother with this. Here, apparently, if it's requesting for a video format and quality, Lightroom will be transcoding it for you. And that should maybe lessen the bandwidth load if you're gonna send it through email or something like that. That could be helpful. Now, file settings. We have image format. There are 4 main formats: JPEGs, Photoshop files, and then TIFF files, which are basically bigger, higher fidelity files, and then DNGs, which are raw files that will be processed once more. And then you have a quality slider here. This will control the size of your outputs. And then you can choose the color space that your photo is playing with. sRGB is for the monitors. Maybe if you're printing this out and you want true to color, you can go the other options over here. And then you have file size limit. If you set this, files that will be generated will all just fall within that limit. So it can't be bigger than that. Next, we have image sizing. So let's put it back to sRGB. Image sizing. When you're outputting, you can actually identify a resize factor that will be used for your set of images. Like for example, these two, one is taller, one is longer. If we resize to fit the short edge to 900 pixels, that would mean that the shorter edge here in portrait, it will be the top and bottom. That will be 900 pixels across. A landscape photo like this would be 900 pixels high after the out. And then if don't enlarge is checked out, that only means that if your photo is already of a lower resolution than 900 pixels high or 900 pixels wide, it will not be affected by the resizing control that you set here. Output sharpening is, you might not want to turn this on, but I find that the effect is really subtle and you can, it's okay. So I just tend to keep it on so that at least for screen, because there are other options here for the screen, it has a standard amount of sharpening. Now, metadata, this is controlled by your identity here in the Lightroom. I don't think we discussed or ran through that, but you can see that there are information here that you could actually fill out for each of your photos, or like here, if you choose a copyright set, like for example, all except camera raw info, if there's anything written on your identity sheet, it will be included in the metadata. So be careful when using this. You can't really ship or put no metadata on it. So at least the copyright only looks at a single field there and uses that. Watermarking we discussed last time, and right now there is a watermark for the center, which is this one. You can uncheck it if you don't want that, but for the purposes of this tutorial, we will leave it on and check it out after it has gone through post-processing. This means it's basically asking you what would happen after the export sequence has been completed, because we're just using 2 right now. But if, for example, you were in a party and you have like 1,000 images there, that might take a while. And Lightroom over here is giving you the option to select what happens after the process is finished. So that's it, I suppose. Show in Explorer is a very safe choice. And then if you export it on top left corner here, and that moves. So it was completed already, and we get redirected into the Windows Explorer environment, where we have our photos here. On the thumbnails, you don't see the watermark here. Where is it? Oh, here. But if you enlarge it, the watermark suddenly appears over there. So it's like a subtle way of protecting your files. Yeah, so the signature mainly works because it's in the center and then offset from the bottom. So simple signatures like that should be good identity label. So I suppose we can stop here for now. Let me just pull it up once again, the expert dialog. And I'll see you guys tomorrow or the day after. Let's see if we're still on Lightroom by then. Okay? Take care, guys. Good night. See you again.